Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my very first sprints. Oh, this is weird. I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing, so please be patient with me. We're gonna go till probably about 10-ish tonight. So stick around. I've got my Halloween onesie on in mood of the spooky season. I love it. It's so cozy. And if I can show you. Okay, did that do anything? No? Yes? Why is it not working? I might have to. Now, let me know if you can hear me now. Oh, you can hear something. Could you hear me when I had this on? Because sometimes the mic does not work on my actual laptop. Okay, we can hear you. Cool. Oh gosh. Fab. Okay. Yeah, we'll just have to do it like this. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I've had so many problems with my laptop recently. It's literally driving me up the wall. Like today, the screen just kept flickering while I was trying to study, and it was just an absolute nightmare. So you probably completely missed it. Yeah, I'm reading this tonight. I'm like 2 stories in. So I'm sort of just getting into it because it's short stories. It's a bit weird because I don't do very well with short stories. I do prefer like a longer thing. Um, Oh my god. Okay, so yeah, let's go back. So These Fleeting Shadows, I've not heard of this book. So I don't know. Is it good? How are you finding it? And thank you to Liam. Maybe catch you later. Right. We could hear with the headset in which you'd fiddled with it. Oh, I don't know what was going on with it then. Is the sound okay now? Or is it dodgy? If it's dodgy, I'll try and put the headset back on. But yeah, sometimes it cuts out when the inbuilt mic, especially when my laptop goes into rocket mode and the fan tries to take off. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me know what you guys are reading tonight and what you're doing if you're not reading. These can be for productivity sprints as well. Yeah, let me know how you're getting on. So yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this. I enjoy like all of the Shadowhunters books. There's not been one that I haven't enjoyed yet, so I feel like I am going to enjoy it. But yeah, it sounds great now. Thank you very much, Rick. That's very helpful. Okay, we might just stay like this then. What was I saying when you couldn't hear me? Oh yeah, I was telling you about my awful week. I had a really bad week last week because I was really poorly, and I barely read anything. I managed to finish Fairy Tale at the start of this week, like the new Stephen King one, and like it was just okay. But yeah, I just nearly killed off in the first week of Spoopathon. Like, oh my gosh, I think I was bitten by the zombie. Never mind Brad. Finished the Bone Houses today and have started the Atlas 6. Oh, how did you find the Bone Houses? That's another one that I don't know. I honestly, you can talk about these books and I'll have no idea what they are. But let me know how you're getting on with the Atlas 6. That's on my TBR. I've got the Illumicrate edition because it was pretty, but I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to feel about the plot. I've heard mixed things. I'm going to try and finish Empire of the Vampire tonight, but first I'm going to try and write some flash fiction for literary magazine submissions. Oh, that's fantastic. I read Empire last year when it first came out. I really love Nevernight. Nevernight is like my favourite J. Kristoff. And I feel like Empire was a bit of a disappointment in comparison. Have you read any of the J. Kristoff before? Let me know and how it compares if you have, because I loved Nevernight. I was obsessed with it, and Empire was still really good. I still gave it 5 stars, but I don't know, I think it's just because it was full of stuff I really expected from him that I was a bit like, oh, I've seen it before, if that makes any sense. I gave the Bone Houses 4.5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Oh, okay. I'll have to look that one up. I'll have to look that up because I don't know it. Bone Houses. Is that Emily Lloyd-Jones? Oh, the cover's pretty. I will look at that when we go into the first sprint. So I'm not ignoring everybody. Cool. It is. Yes. Okay. I have got the right one then. Yeah, it's a really pretty cover. I like it. Oh, I'll have to read the blurb because it looks very interesting. Okay. So how are we all doing as well today? I've been studying today. If you don't know, I do the same thing that Spoops does. I'm an apprentice librarian, and Thursday is always the day I get to do my studying. So today I was working on an essay, and then this afternoon I started planning my project, which is really exciting. So the way like the course of bit of my like apprenticeship works is we do a bunch of essays on different things, and then at the end we do a really big project, and you have to do like a big report on it, and you also have to do a really big presentation on it as well. And this afternoon I was just sort of planning my project because it's going to be a magic school for kids, and I was kind of inspired by the Aurelium readathon with the way that G has like organized that and come up with all the different classes and stuff. So I want to do like a magic school, and then each week is going to be like a different activity, and one of them is going to be like a potions class. And I was looking at experiments you can do for kids with like bicarbonate of soda and vinegar and it like explodes. It was, oh, I'm so excited for it. It's going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh, but that's what I've been doing today. So that's what the reality of being a librarian. You kind of just get to muck around sometimes. But it is 22 now, so I think we could go into our very first sprint. Oh, hang on. Never read anything else by Joe Kristoff. I maybe pick up Nevernight at some point. Now I've heard good things. Okay, then. I hope that you really enjoy Empire of the Vampire then, since you don't kind of know what to expect from him. That's yeah, it's exciting that it's your first Joe Kristoff though. I did really enjoy it just because I feel like it was really similar to a lot of other things he's done. I don't know, but yeah, and definitely pick up Nevernight. It is really good. It is really good. And that sounds really exciting. Thank you so much, Leanne. I'm really excited about it. I'm hyped. I'm not looking forward to the big presentation at the end though, because that's going to be a lot. You have to sort of talk about everything that you've ever done for like a year and a half of your life, and it's going to be a lot to remember. Okay, let's go into our first sprint then. I'm using the capped timer, so I'm really sorry if it scares anyone when it goes off in the end, but I'm going to do 45 minutes. I hope that's okay. That's kind of a good medium, I think. Yes, that project sounds great. Thank you so much for the ego boosting. Thank you so much. Okay, are we all ready to read? Oh, I think I am. So let's go. Hello! How did everybody do? I did not get as much read as I wanted to because Hercules was being really, really naughty. Oh my god. He just would not settle. I had to get one of these out for him to play with because he just would not leave me alone. How many pages did I read? I read 20 pages in that sprint. Yeah, I'm blaming it on the cat. He is one of my 3-month-old kittens. Yeah, I think he's 3 months old, or just over 3 months. Yeah, I've got 6 cats, if you guys didn't know, and it's all a bit chaotic, if I'm being honest. We've started letting them out of their like special cat room of a night now, so I sometimes leave my bedroom door open so they can come in, but a lot of the times I have to close it because they come in and wake me up at about 5 o'clock in the morning. So let's see what's going on in the comments. Liam popped back in. Hello, Liam. I bet you're back at work again, but thank you. I think it's going well. Hi, Lydia. Hello, everyone. Just got home, going to read The Travelling Bag and Other Spooky Stories by Susan Hill. Ooh, I've never read anything by Susan Hill, but I saw. No, that's Shirley Jackson. The Haunting of Hill House. That's what I'm thinking of. Susan Hill did The Woman in Black, didn't she? I've read The Woman in Black. It was a few years ago now, but I quite liked that. Let me know how you're getting on. Hello, Rick. I read about 5 pages and then went on Xbox to carry on playing Sable. I respect that. I really, really respect that. If I wasn't on sprints right now, I would probably be playing The Sims 2, but my computer can't handle more than one thing at a time. So I'm not doing that. I'm reading instead. Hello! I joined late, but someone managed to read 15 pages. Fantastic. And you are never late. You are never late. Everybody else is only early. Let me know what you're reading. Hi. Just joined my goal is to finish my current read tonight. Let me know what your current read is, Runa. I'm interested to know, and let me know how you're getting on. I wrote 2 flash fictions and took bread out of the oven. Oh my gosh! I wish I could bake. What bread did you make? Tell me what kind of bread it was. I want to know. I want to think about the delicious bread. Just started my new book, Still Life by Louise Penny. Nice. Excellent. How are you finding it? Are you enjoying it? I read 5% of The Burning God. That's one of the Poppy War books, right? Honestly, I'm a librarian, but I don't know anything. That's really good, though. They're quite chunky fantasy books, aren't they? So reading 5% in 45 minutes is very good. You should be very proud of yourself. It was raisin walnut loaf. Okay. That sounds great. I'm not a fan of raisins personally, but I'm sure it's delicious. Yay, I was right. I know some things, just not all things. It's so funny. In some of our libraries, we've got one of the books in that trilogy, and I think it's the last one, but we don't have the other 2. And every time I see it, I just think someone's going to come into the library, see that, think it looks interesting, and not realise it's the last book in a series, and then read it and have no idea what's going on. And people do that. I once had a customer come in who had read some book series, and all of the books that he read were out of order, so he just got the story in random snippets. I'm reading The Gilded Ones. I love it. It's so epic. I have around 40 pages left. Fantastic. I'm sure you'll manage to finish that tonight. We're going to have a couple of more sprints after this, so you should be good to go. My mum made it and she had to go. Oh, I see. Yes. Well, I'm sure it's delicious. Mum's cooking is always great. Hi, Vicky. May have accidentally had a nap. I respect that. I respect that. So far, I like it, but I've only read the first chapter so far, but I'm so in the mood for an autumnal mystery. Ooh, yes. I'm a bit of a seasonal reader, even though, I mean, I'm reading this because it's for like a read-along, but it is kind of seasonal, I guess, because it's like about a warlock, about magic, stuff like that. But I don't know, I was really in the mood for like lots of spooky books at the very start of October, and then when I was really ill last week, I just wasn't in the mood to read anything, and now that's kind of killed my momentum with reading spooky books. I think Fairy Tale, which is the new Stephen King, which is what I was reading last, has kind of put me into a bit of a slump as well, because it was so long and just not that good. So I'm reading something I'm familiar with, and I hope that gets my momentum back. Yeah. Mom had to go into town, so I got put in charge of taking out the oven. Oh, yes. That happens to me a lot when my mom needs something doing. I just end up in charge. I'm usually cat duty, especially Poo Patrol. I started my reread of Gideon the Ninth. My Illumicrate editions arrived today, and I finally want to read Harrow and Nona. I'm so bad. I still have not read that series either. I really would like to read it, and I'm sure it's a series I will really enjoy. But I just haven't gotten around to it. I've got so many books, and I just never pick up anything. I just end up like rereading stuff or something. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your reread. I'm guessing you really like them because you're reading again. Oh, comments jumped. I've turned into a seasonal reader. Yeah, I like to read a lot of things like all year round. But I don't know, there's just something about the autumnal season, I think, that makes you want to read sort of autumnal, spooky, mystery type books. I don't know. Does anybody else feel this way? Feel the same as me and Essie? Like, I just, because in the summer as well, in the spring, I kind of want to read like more contemporary and like more romance. Like, I wouldn't want to pick up a Stephen King in the summer necessarily, you know? Yeah, that's a good strategy against reading slumps. My last read was also a reread. Oh, excellent. I mean, I've never read this series before. This is my first time reading them, but because it's like a world I know, it's kind of easy for me to just like read it, and I don't have to think too hard about it. And because I love fantasy, like fantasy, I would say is my favorite genre. So it's like easy for me to get into. The story that I'm on at the moment, I like a lot more than the first two, because it's kind of taking place around the same time as the Infernal Devices series does. And I know that there's going to be stories from like all throughout Magnus Bane's history in this, but I really, really liked the Infernal Devices series, so I'm quite liking this one, and the sarcasm of it all as well. I read the Neuromancer trilogy by William Gibson in the wrong order because I didn't put them on my shelves properly when I bought them. Luckily, there's not much of a continuous story between them. Yeah, I suppose if you don't know, it's easily done. I am really meticulous, and I have to record everything, and like I have like a spreadsheet for all my books, and I put everything on Goodreads and Storygraph and everything. So I feel like it's not something I would ever end up doing. Like, if I look at a book that's in a series or looks like it's in a series, like, I research so much about it before I even pick it up. Which, I mean, I can never just like look at a book and just like pick it up and want to read it. I have to know everything about the book beforehand, apart from the plot. The plot's usually the only thing that I don't like spoil myself for, but I would like meticulously research like what order a series needs to be read in, if there's like novellas that you have to read in between main books in this series, like the Shatter Me series. I've got most of the books in that series and I've read the first one, but there's a short story to read between books 1 and 2, and I don't have it. So I'm like putting off picking up book 2 because I'm like, I have to read this novella in between. And I've always been like this. Like, I'm trying to think of another example. I can't think of another example, but stuff like that, I have to read the short stories in between. So I don't think I'd ever accidentally read a book, like a series, in the wrong order. But I suppose, like, especially our libraries where there's like the last book only in a series on the shelf, like it's easily done. It's just reminded me, we got the new Sarah J Maas in, the second Crescent City book, but we don't have the first one. What is the point? I do have a similar thing when I'm feeling stumpy. Yeah, I feel like it's quite nice to read something when you feel something. Because this is the thing, I like to always have a book on the go, but when I'm not in the mood to read, it sucks. So it's easy to just like have something somewhat familiar. I definitely want to read more spooky or darker themed books this time of year. Yeah, I feel like as well, I think I save them all for October and I forget that I can only sort of manage around like 5 to 6 books, depending on how long they are in a month. And then October comes and I have like 15 books that I want to read in the month because they're for like this season, and I could have started reading them like in September instead. And then like Halloween comes and goes, and it's before you know it's Christmas, and it's like, oh, I didn't read any of the spooky books that are on my TBR for the month. The Expanse series has novellas dotted between the novel releases, and I always make sure to read them in the correct order for my rereads. Yeah, I'm meticulous about things like that. I'm trying to think of another series example. There's definitely others I've read. The novellas. Oh, that's it. The Suki Stackhouse series. There's 13 books in that series, and there's 2 short story collections. The second one has the same stories as the first one, in just a few more. And when I was reading that series, I had to like fit in the short stories like where they were supposed to go. And now I've got the second short story collection, and there's like extra stories in there that take place between the main books, and I want to read these extra stories that I've not read before, but I don't want to just read them because I don't know where they fit into like the main canon of everything. But I don't want to reread the series because it's 13 books long, and I've probably spent about 6 years of my life reading it for the first time. And I don't want to spend that time doing that again. I don't have time for that. I do not have the time. Oh, there's just so many books and so little time. My last read was Caliban's War. I'm somehow also in the mood for sci-fi. Oh, it's been so long since I've picked up a really good sci-fi. I was meant to read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet for Spoopy Hole's Patreon book club. It was months ago now. I never got around to it, and it's still sat on my shelf. It's on my trolley, which is behind you. And it's facing me. It's just looking at me like, why haven't you read me yet? 9 books and 6 novellas is too much for my brain to keep organised. No, I get that. I used to write lists of all the series I owned, which wasn't that many when I was younger, and like which order they were supposed to be in, so I wouldn't forget. Because I only had these 3 little tiny shelves, like on my wall, at the end of my bed, and I had to squeeze all the books that I owned onto them. And over time, it just got worse and worse. So I'm so glad we moved so I could have proper shelves, because it got to a point where I just had no more space. And all the books were just thrown on there like higgledy-piggledy because I had no space for them. And now everything has to be alphabetical by author surname because I am a librarian. I wonder if there is something like cozy autumnal sci-fi. I don't know. I I know there's the Monk and Robot series by Becky Chambers that's kind of described as being quite like cozy. So that might be kind of like that. I can't remember the name of the first one. It's this Psalm for the Wild Built or something. I've not read it, so I can't recommend it. But I don't know if it's autumnal either. But that might be like a little bit more cozy. And then there's the Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is kind of like chill sci-fi. I've heard, but again, I don't know if it's autumnal. The last sci-fi series I really read was the Aurora Cycle by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I love that series so much, but it's definitely not like cozy autumnal in the slightest. Like it's action, adventure, space opera stuff. But it's really good if you've not read it. Woo, Caliban's War is fun. The series just keeps getting better. I've not read it, so I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. Recently read the first 2 books, so I continue with the rest of the series. I am excited. Oh, I'm happy for you, Callisto. That's fantastic. God, there are so many series that I've read the first book of that it's been so long, I'm going to have to reread them to carry on. The main example was probably Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I read the first one. Oh, maybe like 2017, and I haven't continued, but I own them all. That's another thing. I there's short stories for that series as well, and I haven't got the books, so I'm like putting off reading it because I don't have the short stories. Like I can read them in any order. The short stories, they're not important. Cozy autumnal sci-fi is now something I want to write that would probably turn into fantasy. I love a good fantasy sci-fi crossover type world where you've got like magic and elves and dwarves and stuff like that, but there's also like high tech. I don't know any books that are like that, but it's something that I crave. So if anyone has any recommendations for anything like that, let me know. Not that I need any more books added to my TBR. When the last book in the series came out, I reread all 8 books and novellas to fully prepare. I feel this. I have been craving a reread of the Game of Thrones books. Why would I do that to myself? It took me 5 years to read them, and we still don't know when The Winds of Winter's coming out. Like, I'm not going to reread these 7 really chunky books because I've got the split editions. I'm not going to reread these 7 chunky books, but I kind of want to. But yeah, that's a lot to reread. It's a lot to commit. Okay. Are we ready for another sprint? Because I think I am. I want to get back to my story. I'm like halfway through this one. I want to make some more progress before the end of the night. Isn't Red Sister by Mark Lawrence kind of like that? At least the lore. Like cozy. Oh, like a fantasy with high tech stuff. Oh, I do want to read that. That is like on my general TV. I don't own it yet, but I think we have it at work. So I should pick that up soon. I read them all about 10 years ago and won't do it again. Yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. Yes, I realised. Thank you. Sci-fi fantasy. That I should definitely prioritise that then if it's that kind of mixed genre, because I'm very interested in that kind of thing. The next book is still a mystery, so I could have forgotten it all again by the time it's released. I might just rewatch the first few seasons to kind of refresh my memory because I'm lazy. Right, let's go for a sprint. Da, da, da. I will see you guys in 45 minutes. Bye. Hello. How did everybody do? I think I read 35 pages. I finished the third short story and I started the fourth one. And I'm really enjoying the fourth one. It takes place after the Infernal Devices series, and I'm very intrigued by the characters we're meeting in it. Yeah, really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 11 altogether in this book, so I'm interested to see what the others are going to be, and what characters we know from the Shadowhunters world, like we meet. So let's see what's going on in the comments. I gave my Game of Thrones series away as I can't read them again, and I've given up believing the next one will ever be released. Yeah, I honestly don't think we will see the final book because there's 2 more to come. I don't think we'll get the last one, personally. I do think that The Winds of Winter will come out. He said he's writing it and he is working on it. I know he said that a lot over the last 15 years or something, but I do think that Winds of Winter is definitely going to come out. I don't think the last one is going to happen, personally. And if it does happen, I think it will end up being a ghostwriter who takes up the mantle for him. Though with the way that season 8 of Game of Thrones ended, I don't think that the estate of George R. R. Martin will want somebody else to take up the mantle and finish it for him, because obviously season 8 didn't end well. So yeah. I really recommend the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. I loved it. I will have to check that out. I will take a little picture of that so I don't forget. I will have to check that out and see what that is all about. Hi, Amy. Hello, finished my live. I'm going to pack during sprints. How did your live go? And what are you packing for? Are you going away? I don't know if you've mentioned this to me. I'm really sorry. I have a terrible memory. I read nothing. I'm trying to finish my game before it gets removed from Xbox Game Pass. I'm glad you're enjoying the book. Thank you very much, Rick. I'm glad you're enjoying your game. I assume you're enjoying it. Yeah, I don't know anything about Xbox, so I've never been much of an Xbox player, to be honest. But I guess it's some limited time thing. I usually just buy any games, I play it outright, and then I don't play them. I bought all of the Resident Evil games back in lockdown because they were on sale quite a lot, and I've not played most of them. I've played 7 all the way through. I really liked that one. I liked the first personness of it, and I've played most of Resident Evil 6, though I played that a while ago, and I've played some of the very first one, the remastered edition, but all of the others, and there's technically more than 8 because there's Resident Evil 0, whatever the hell that is. I've got all the others and I've just not played them yet. I'm terrible. I buy games and then I just don't play them. But I only buy them on sale. I don't buy anything full price. Smart. I read 40 pages. I really like my book. Well done. That's great. What did I say? 35. So that's really good. Well done. I'm glad you're enjoying your book. I finished my flash fiction pieces. Excellent. Well done. I got back to reading Empire of the Vampire. I have 8 chapters left. Definitely going to be able to finish it tonight. Yes. Yes, you do that. I take it you're enjoying it. How are you finding it? I can't remember what happened around that point in the book. Honestly, I can't remember what happened in most of the book, if I'm being honest. It was really long. I honestly could not tell you what I ended up doing during that sprint. I mainly just fucked about online and was generally unproductive. You know what? Sometimes we just need to chill and do nothing. If I wasn't on sprints, I would probably be sat, where's my phone? Looking at my phone the entire time. So yeah, you know, I feel like I can't get anything done when I'm not on sprints, but then I also feel like I don't do much when I am on sprints. That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Sometimes if I'm not watching other people's sprints, a lot of the time I will just end up like looking at my phone or something. I don't actually read, which is bad. But I'm just really in the mood for reading right now because I didn't read really anything last week. Yeah, I'm really into this. I'm really liking this fourth story, and it's making me really, really excited to read the Last Hours series because I haven't read it. I don't know what the schedule for By the Angel Along is for the next like 12 months or so, because we have one more book on the schedule for next month, which is the Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. And then Becca has not revealed the schedule yet. I think she's going to do a video probably next month announcing the next lot of books we're going to read for that. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun reading the Shadowhunters books this year because it's my first time reading them all. So it's great. It's great. Yes, it's very long, but it's good. I'm enjoying it. Excellent. I'm very glad. Yeah, I like long books, but I get bored at a certain point, not because the book itself is boring, but because I get bored of reading the same book. Like, it's really strange. I can be really, really into a book, but if it's like 700 pages long, I really struggle to commit to it for such a length of time. I don't know. I feel like it's maybe that instant gratification that you need from like finishing a lot of books in succession. Like I feel like I've accomplished a lot more if I read a lot of like graphic novels, even though I would technically read more if I read one 800-page book. I don't know. Logic. 5% again. Well done. That is fantastic. I think the next sprint I'm going to do a bit shorter. I'm going to do half an hour for the next sprint, just because I want to finish around 10-ish, because I need to go to bed because I have to go to work tomorrow, which sucks. But I'm sure some of you can relate to that. I was wondering if Spoots had shared these what are they called? Prompts for next week, yeah, on Patreon, but it doesn't look like that they have. Does anyone have any speculation of what the prompts might be next week? I don't know. I did not know what the prompts were going to be until a couple of days before the readathon started, even though I am a co-host, because Spoops is very mean. It's actually been quite fun to like just be able to mood read and not really plan stuff. I am a big like TBR planner, but I also do need to mood read a bit. So it's been quite fun to just sort of get the prompts every so often and then just see like what I'm reading, like where it can fit in. The prompts have been really open so far, so it's been quite easy to stretch them. I finished my book and I just found out the second book came out yesterday. What perfect timing. That is perfect timing. Oh, I take it you're going to pick it up ASAP. I very rarely read books in a series in quick succession to each other. The most that I've been doing so far is reading one of the Shadowhunters books each month because it's for the book club. But I'm reading Throne of Glass at the moment as well, like this whole series for the first time. And I read Air of Fire in December last year, and then I read the next book in like April of this year. And I still haven't finished that series. Bye, Callisto. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you had a really good time. I'm halfway through my 1,000-page book now and a bit bored of it. Yeah, I would probably be bored of a 1,000-page book if it took that long, to to read. I don't know. I like to read quickly, but I read a lot slower than I think I do. So it just takes so long. Yeah, there's so many other things I could be reading. Like I have so many books that I want to read, and I feel like I'm wasting time if I read a really, really long book when it's like, no, I'm enjoying it. Just DNF it. If you're enjoying it, even though it's long, carry on with it. But I suppose if you're bored of it, but I don't know, because like the last Throne of Glass book is like 1,000 pages as well. But I know that I would enjoy that even if it took me like 3 months to read. Maybe a green colour. I'm sorry, I don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, for the prompts. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Yes, I think that there will be another colour prompt. Green is a good one. What have the other ones been? There's been red and there's been orange. So it could be like zombie green or something. I'm not a quitter, Vicky. Yeah. I'd never DNF'd a book in my life. Rick, you need to start doing that. Trust me, it's such a good feeling to DNF a book you're not enjoying. I don't DNF as much as I should, and I feel like I have to finish something, but I definitely think it's good to DNF books you're not enjoying. Like I was reading the arc of, what was it called? Silk Fire, I think, earlier this year, which was this like big epic fantasy that was supposed to be like really sex positive and everything. And I'm so glad that I DNF'd it because it was literally unreadable. It was unreadable. I could not follow the story at all. It did not make any sense whatsoever. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's called Silk Fire. Don't read it. It was awful. Seriously missing out. Be a rebel for once. See, I'm on Team Vicky. I think that you should DNF more. I used to not DNF books. I'm trying to get better at it. Same. I do like feel like I have to see things through to completion. Like I'm still undecided on if I'm DNFing The Wicked King by Holly Black. Yeah, that's what it's called. I started at the start of September and I got about 120 pages in, but I wasn't enjoying it, but I wasn't hating it either. So I've like put it down for now. I've left my bookmark in, so I know where I am, but I'm still undecided on if I just want to completely DNF it. But I have no desire to pick it up again. Maybe I should just DNF it. Yeah, I just don't think that I'm enjoying that series. I don't think Holly Black is for me. I really liked the Spiderwick Chronicles, but because she co-wrote that with another author and because it's middle grade, I feel like it was a lot easier to get through. Whereas what are they called? Is it The Folk of the Air? Is that the name of the trilogy? I can't follow the plot. I don't like any of the characters. I don't like the writing style. Why am I reading it? Okay, I think we should do our last sprint then. We're going to go for 30 minutes and then we'll talk for a little bit at the end. I've pressed the wrong button. What the heck? There we go. Oh, it's a couple more people. What are we doing? It's hard to start doing anything, but once you've done it a few times, it gets easier. I definitely agree with that. I DNF books constantly as a teen, but now I'm knowing my taste much better and don't have to DNF books a lot more. Yeah, I feel like I'm still getting to know my reading taste. I finally am in a position where I can just get a book and try it. Whereas when I was younger, I kind of only had a limited amount of books that I could have like access to read. So I just reread the same stuff over and over. So I don't really know my reading tastes that well, and I'm still getting to know what I really, really like to read. But yeah, I am sort of slowly learning what I like, and hopefully then I'll eventually stop DNFing stuff and I'll just get books that I'm interested in. I read The Book of Night for a book club earlier this year. I wasn't a fan. I don't think I'm going to read another Holly Black book. Yes, I was really interested in Book of Night, and then I saw loads of people DNF it and like really rate it quite low. So I don't think I'm going to read it because I'm not enjoying this series. I don't think I want to enjoy that one. Okay, let's go for a sprint, and this will be the last one. So thank you all for joining. Where's the banner? Here. Look at me. I'm a professional booktuber. Ooh, look at me with my banner. Okay, guys. I will see you in half an hour. Hello. I didn't think it was going to meow then. I was very confused. How did we all do on our last sprint of the night? I finished the short story I was reading, which was about, I'm going to say another 20-something pages. I can't remember what page I was on. Yeah, I really liked that story. I feel like it was a good setup for the Last Hour series. So I'm very, very excited to get onto that one. And then the next one, I think, is going to be about some of the vampires in New York that we see in the Mortal Instruments series. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, it's been a good night. I'm really, really glad that you guys decided to join me for sprints. This is my first time doing sprints on my channel, believe it or not. You know, with all the technical difficulties we had at the start. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely doing this again for Spoopathon. My next sprints are on Saturday next week. It's the 22nd. But I hope to try and do some regular ones at some point. In general, because I've really enjoyed doing this. Vicky has read 11 pages. Excellent. That is great. Great progress from your nap earlier this evening. The next Spoopathon Sprints will be tomorrow on Jade's channel. I'm not sure what time that they're starting. I tried to look and it was telling me 3 a.m. Pacific time, which is no good to me because I don't know what time that is here. But it's 3 a.m. Pacific time, if anybody is on that side of the world. But yeah, tomorrow Jade's channel, I'm sure Spoops will tweet the link at some point over on the Spoopathon Twitter and also share it in the Spoopathon Discord. Thank you all so much for joining me tonight. It has been lovely, but I need to go to bed now because I'm exhausted. But yeah, thank you all for joining and I'll see you soon. Bye.